You might think that our journey is just about to begin. But this journey began 2 years ago, back in December 2023. I was told at the beginning that the hardest part of rowing the Atlantic is actually getting the crew and your boat to the start line, and that the team that you have right now will not be the team that you row with. Well, how right that would prove to be. So there's been 4 different teams, there's been egos, there's been conflict, there's been breakups, breakdowns, tears, anxiety and stress. A whole lot of stress. It's been a hell of a ride, it really has. So, let's go right back to where my journey started. I was sat in Nando's in Dorchester, December 2023, and I got sent a message and it simply said, "Hello mate, fancy rowing the Atlantic?" I had to give it a little bit of thought, but it was a dream that I'd had since a kid. I'd seen things on telly like this and wanted to give it a go. Too much though, after a little while, just didn't feel right. So I decided to leave. There was too many red flags. But the seed was planted. I really wanted to do this now. I had the contacts and I had a real goal. I wanted to row the Atlantic. Spoke to Gemma long and hard about this, and as normal, Gemma's 100% supported of me, and we decided to go for Team Changing Tides, which was myself, Mick and James. And the dynamic was unique and never been done before. 1 ex-prison officer and 2 ex-prisoners. And the idea was to show that people can be worthy of a second chance. So we went full steam ahead. Hello everyone, my name's Sean and I'm the governor at Team Changing Tides.
There's 3 of us, Sean, James and me. I'm Mick and I'm running the Atlantic Ocean.
It's going to be beautiful, exciting, adventurous.
Please follow us on our journey to prove that people can change. Speak soon. Behind the scenes, but working tirelessly with us, the wives and girlfriends were also really active. You really can't do it without the support of your partners. It wasn't long before there were issues. There were power struggles, some people thinking they were right, undermining other people. Not being team players. Big clashes of personalities. Doing something so intense strips everything back. You see people's true selves, what ethics they have, their insecurities, their family dynamic, their spouse support. It came to a head in a Zoom meeting, and there was extreme conflict between 2 team members. Mick had issues with James's partner Hannah. They just couldn't get on, and words were said. I called a halt to the meeting, and I had big decisions to make. Extreme, difficult decisions. We paused the project, and myself and Gemma spoke long and hard about it for about a week. And in the end, I had to make my first massive and very, very difficult decision, and that was to continue without one of the rowers. Mick had to drop out of Changing Tides. An unbelievably tough decision, but something I still believe I was absolutely correct in doing. So from then on, it was me and James.
HMP Portland, this is where it all began.
I was a PE officer, James was an inmate. I introduced him to the rowing machine, and that rowing machine changed his life. And now together, we're rowing all the way across the Atlantic Ocean.
3,000 miles. See you there.
We started getting our mission known, going into supermarkets.
Thank you very much for your generosity. Very much, thank you.
Learning on the job.
Yeah, you're rowing. You're rowing.
How to get the cash coming into our 2 chosen charities.
Willow's showing me up.
The Samaritans, because they're in the jails and they're in the jails for people to help and cry out for help, that'll help them inside.
Care After Combat. They go into prisons and help veterans that have fallen on hard times, and being a veteran, I was very adamant that I wanted some sort of veterans charity as well. It was at this time when me and James were cracking on together that Johnny mentioned that he'd really want to do it, and I was really tempted because me and Johnny go back a long way, we're oppos, we've been through a lot together, but it just didn't fit the dynamic. It was still the ex-prisoner and ex-prison officer, so it didn't fit, and I had to say, I'm sorry, Johnny. And he understood. He wasn't bitter and twisted. In fact, he was our first big sponsor. He gave us some big money and really believed in us and what we were doing. Partly, I think, because we had this burpee challenge going on at the time. And he said, Sean, I'll give you some money if you do 2 hours. So, that's what we did. 2 hours of burpees. Non-stop. Johnny found it hilarious. But we did the 2 hours. Myself and James, for a good few months we cracked on. It was positive. We did lots of supermarkets, radio interviews, going to schools. I felt like we were inspiring others and people were really invested in what we were doing. We increased our reach, we was gaining more momentum on Facebook and Instagram.
Hi, I'm James Brooke, team Changing Tides. We're rowing the Atlantic in 2025. Currently training and getting it done.
Momentum was on our side and it was starting to become more and more real. Then, on the 4th of February, our transatlantic boat Danielle arrived on Portland. Just checking live location. Danielle is on Portland. I say again, Danielle is on Portland. Over. For me, things were really coming together. This is Chris Martin, transatlantic rower, trans-Pacific rower. What better person could there be to show us the ropes? But for James, I couldn't help noticing that things weren't so simple.
We've got 8 months left, haven't we? Eight whole months left before start line.
The time is the thing, it's the time. It's quite tricky, really. It is quite tricky. And with family as well, you know. Little Olivia, I've got a young daughter there, she's 2 in 4 weeks' time, and getting the balance between my beautiful fiance and myself and working it all out and having the diary working week to week is quite a struggle sometimes.
On top of that, James was the ex-prisoner, and that spotlight brought its own issues. The pressure built, and unfortunately, everything came to a head for James. I got a phone call, and in my heart, I knew what he was about to say. For his own well-being, James just couldn't continue. It was the right decision for him to take himself off the team. James just didn't need the stress. And if he hadn't have come to that decision, I would have made it for him. Once again, we were back, almost to square one, just me and Gemma. What do? Do we call it a day? Or do we keep going? Another pause, tears, doubt, worry, guilt. People have spent a lot of money sponsoring me. I don't want to let them down. In the back of my mind, I knew there was only one person I could call on. And that was Johnny Fawlty Towers. That's what I used to call him back in our Marine days. I called him and he said yes straight away. I kind of knew he would. From the moment he joined the team, because of all the trials and tribulations we'd been through and how hard this bloody process is, we wanted to get it across to Johnny and his wife Rachel, who was also now joining the team, how hard this was. And I reiterated to him what Chris Martin had said to me. This isn't about rowing the Atlantic, it's about getting to the start line. It's about fundraising, getting corporate sponsors. It's about social media, getting footage. It's about having 0 days off. Every day we're doing something, every single day. It might just be something small on Facebook, but it's still something. And if we're not doing something, we're planning the next thing that we need to do. They jumped in, fully on board, and they smashed it. And they're continuing to smash it. Johnny completed all his courses. You've got to do 4 courses. He did them in record time. He was doing radio interviews. Not really Johnny's thing, but he knew that it needed to be done to get our reach out there. He reached out to sponsors, travelled to events. It was great having Johnny on board. And of course Rachel, the brains behind Johnny, and obviously Gemma's the brains behind me. So yeah, now we're in the final months, things are starting to feel very real and everything seems to be just falling into place. The money was coming in through sponsors. It was almost like people suddenly started to really believe that we were going to bloody do this. I always believed it. I had my moments of doubt and fear, but I always kept believing. We got time out on Danielle.
Totally lose your rhythm when he starts rocking. Ready? Hey!
And we got to do the capsize drill, something that might come in very handy halfway across the Atlantic.
Get on! Yay!
Practical planning, increased following on social media, even famous followers.
Sean and Johnny, you're rowing the Atlantic. I'm awestruck.
Rowing the Atlantic?
Yeah, that is some feat, that. But listen, all the best, guys.
Good luck, Sean and Johnny, rowing the Atlantic for charity.
Massive good luck, Sean and Johnny. And if you're watching this video, you can help them too by donating, but also by sharing this video and following them, because the more followers they have, the more money they can raise from sponsorships, the more money they've got for the charities. So let's get the whole country behind them. Come on, Sean and Johnny.
We had our first sleep on Danielle and our first dodgy moment in the wind, where we made it to the pontoon, stuck between 2 pubs that we could see that couldn't get to. That was not a good couple of hours. So here we are, everything in place to make it to the start line, almost. Changing Tide's team has made this happen. Rowing the Atlantic seems to be a rich person's sport. Well, none of us are rich on this team, but we've managed to do it. Things that are now coming up. Final food supplies. We have our final kit muster to make sure we've got all the kit we need for Danielle. We're getting the vinyl wrap put on her with all the sponsors, and that's being done and in the process right now. We send Danielle off for shipping on the 14th of November. We've got to plan flights to Lanzarote, accommodation and finishing plans for Antigua, because we're going to bloody do it. Why do we do our content and exposure? What's the point? It's a pain in the ass, for God's sake, let's just get on with it. No. We need to constantly raise awareness of our charity services. We want less people to die by suicide. The more money we can raise, the more that can help people struggling. So, content and exposure is huge. That increases our following, which increases our donations, which decreases people dying by suicide. So the row itself, the distance, 3,200 miles. 2 hours on, 2 hours off, for roughly 2 months, depending on what Mother Nature decides on us. We've got no support boat. All of our support is from land, either from Lanzarote or Antigua. We don't use fresh water. We, by the nature of the rules of the race, have to make all our fresh water by a desalinator, which turns seawater into fresh water. We're going to be in storms. We're going to be capsized. Waves of up to 40, maybe 50 feet. In some places in the Atlantic, the sea is 5 miles deep. It's just going to be me, Johnny and Danielle, and 5 miles deep with sea. And that's when I'm going to say to Johnny, come on mate, let's go for a swim. You go first. I'd like to thank everybody for their support that's helped us along the way. This has been one hell of a roller coaster ride. And thanks ever so to those that have kept the faith in our mission. We'll never forget all of you for helping us along the way, all of you that have contributed. We set off from Lanzarote on Sunday the 24th, this coming January, heading into the Atlantic Ocean to meet up with that beautiful beast they call Mother Nature. Who knows what she's got in store for us, but whatever it is, me and Johnny are as ready as we'll ever be. From adversity to adventure, that's our motto, and what an adventure we're going to be having. See you sometime in March. Where? Antigua, baby.